I'm a little concerned in the effort to streamline the rulemaking process. The NRC staff now spends significant resources on new rulemaking efforts. We talked about this yesterday, prior to obtaining Commission approval. How is the need for a new rule determined? Is that a staff-driven decision, or is that a Commission-driven decision?
Well, for the most part, they're commission-driven decisions. As staff, obviously, we rely on our staff to, from looking at things like operating experience, industry requests, or the like, to identify areas where there might be a need for a new rule or modification of existing rules. But for most rulemaking actions, it requires the commission approval. Our executive director for operations.
At what stage does it require commission approval?
For the most part, it would require approval at the proposed stage.
If I may bring to the subcommittee's attention something that I recently discovered. It occurred in 2006. I joined our commission in 2008. Once again, forecasting a strong nuclear renaissance in the United States, in 2006, the commission undertook to delegate to the agency staff a significant set of what I call front-end commission approval and involvement steps in looking at what rulemakings would be embarked upon. And again, I respect that commission in 2006 thought that they were going to be facing a crushing agency workload related to having 28 new reactors under construction and the various things that were forecast in that time period. And they didn't think it was sustainable for the commission to be so involved in the early approval steps for new rulemaking activities before they were embarked upon. These were steps such as requiring the staff submittal to the commission of a rulemaking plan, requiring the submittal of early regulatory analyses, and again, these are precursors well in advance of a proposed rule stage. The commission delegated many of those activities to office directors and waived wholesale other requirements, such as, although the sound of this committee is a bit strange, we have a committee to review generic requirements, and it's a body made up of senior staff that looks across programs and in some ways is looking at the cumulative impact of agency rulemaking activities. The requirement for review by that committee was waived and was left entirely discretionary to agency staff. So I think that some of these steps, while I'm sure well-intentioned and probably well-merited given what they predicted in 2006, were key front-end involvement of the Commission, which in my view has a unique opportunity to look across programs in the agency that office directors simply do not have that perspective. And so as we look at having X number of rulemakings, either active or inactive, ongoing, people throw around this number of 60 rulemakings, I challenge myself as to whether that change in the Commission's involvement in 2006 perhaps had some impact to where we are today. And I have not engaged my colleagues on this research I just discovered in the last couple of weeks. I wasn't aware that this significant change had been made at that time. But I think, again, it's nearly 10 years later. Is it worth, as a Commission, maybe looking at that possibly? And I hope to engage my colleagues on that.
Mr. Austin?
I would, to add to Commissioner Svenke's comments, say that in our current deliberations by the Commission on Project AIM, this is one specific aspect that I believe will be discussed and vetted, and I can't predict the outcome in the context of the rebaselining of work effort mentioned by others.
Well, I'm just curious, and I'm trying to get this in my head. If the staff is out there working in a particular area and they decide, geez, this is something that we need to actually write a rule on, how far do they go before the Commission has to say, yeah, that's an area we need a rule written on? Do they go out? How much work and money is expended on looking at proposed rules before the Commission gets involved and says, yeah, proceed with that, or no, we don't need that? Where do you step in? When? At what point?
Well, again,
as you can tell, I'm a little bit concerned about staff-driven rules rather than commission-driven rules.
Certainly. No, I understand that. And as Commissioner Svenke said or indicated, I wasn't particularly aware of some of the information in terms of of this. But again, as Commissioner Ostendorf said, I think this is something ripe for us to look at. The Commission can always step in. I mean, the staff, we have the responsibility, we have the ability to obtain, each commissioner individually can obtain the information they want to carry out as they see fit their responsibilities. We as a collegial body can reverse a direction on a particular thing. And I think the importance for us is even if we have a circumstance now where there may be some rulemaking activity that may be gone on that doesn't formally come for the approval, we actually have the ability to do that and maintain awareness of what's on. We do get reports from our staff on various activities. So I think the responsibility, rests with us in terms of maintaining that oversight and awareness of what's going on.
Well, I'll tell you what drives part of my concern, I guess. When we, on the one hand, talk about right-sizing the agency, which we talk about right-sizing the agency,
Yeah.
and on the other hand, we talk about rules being driven. I've been around long enough, both at state and federal level, to know that bureaucracies have a tendency to, when hands are idle, we think of things to do, and that concerns me to some degree. And I'm just wondering how much of this thinking of things to do drives some of the rules, if at all. I don't know, but I have heard concerns about the number of rules and so forth, and I'm trying to drive at where's the Commission's responsibility versus how far can these go before the Commission actually gets involved. I know you can get involved at any stage along the way, but do you? And that's why I asked these set of questions. So it's an issue that we'll continue to look at.